Good evening and welcome to Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television. Iron Port is proudly brought to you in association with the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Goyle Company Limited, the Ghana Revenue Authority, Serene Insurance, and Ghana Link Network Services. They are implementers and operators of the Integrated Customs Management System, ICOMS. The abridged version of Iron Port is also shown on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. on Ghana Television. Our media partner is the Business and Financial Times, the BNFT. If you want to have a grasp of all that transpired on the show tonight, make a date and grab a copy of the Thursday edition of the BNFT, and you'll be able to read all that transpired here on the show. Remember, we're also live on our social media handles, Facebook and YouTube at Ironport Ghana. And along the line, we shall activate our phone lines for you to get interactive with us. But for now, you can send us your messages ahead, even as we discuss the show. And the number to send your messages to is 0559 019 177, 0559 019 177. My name is Kennedy Mona. We'll be back after this break.
Every now and again, Goyle makes good things happen. This time, Goyle has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goyle has that sorted. Goyle, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Oh, how are you?
Hi Yvonne, a few words please. Everyone is talking about the fire at your production house last week. How are you holding up? Has production stalled?
No, not at all. My crew and everyone on my set is perfectly fine because I insure with Serene Insurance. As a matter of fact, I've had all my equipment replaced, including the vehicles that were affected. My workers have been sorted out. Even my production downtime has been covered. So it's all good. I have a meeting to attend to, so I have to get going. Sorry about that.
Which insurance company did you mention?
Serene Insurance, the new face of insurance, a member of First Sky Group.
Welcome back. It's now time for us to take a look at some of the activities that took place in the maritime industry along the week, and we can vividly talk about the vetting of two deputy ministers designate for the Transport Ministry, the Honorable Hassan Tampuli and the Honorable Frederick Adom. We can also talk about the Commissioner General of the GRA who spoke to us exclusively about e-payments that the GRA has rolled out, and we'll also talk about some stakeholders in the fisheries industry who met in attempts to roll out the framework to ensure sustainable fishing in the country. Let's take a look at these stories.
The Deputy Transport Ministers designate Hassan Tampuli and Frederick Adom have assured of government's commitment at finding suitable partners to invest and manage the Tema shipyard. The deputy ministers designate, who said this during their vetting in Parliament, highlighted the inherent value the shipyard facility continues to possess for Ghana's maritime fortunes, and thus government will do all it can to bring it back to profitability.
Tema shipyard and dry dock is by far the largest such facility between South Africa and, I'm told, Morocco, and it's very important facility that would facilitate marine transport and make Ghana a very important marine hub in the West African sub-region.
Taking a stand at the vetting, Hassan Tampuli also expressed 100% support for plans to develop a port infrastructure at Mpakadan to take advantage of the Volta Lake. Additionally, Frederick Obeng Adom said the Buankra Integrated Logistics Terminal project is ongoing. The deputy ministers designate affirmed their unflinching support to the ministry and its sector agencies to ensure that the ambitions of the sector are actualized for national development.
I will, in consultation with my minister, make sure that the Tema shipyard and dry dock is revamped to serve the sub-region.
The Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Reverend Amishadai Owusu-Amoah, has stated that from July 1, payments of taxes and duties will not be done at any of the GRA offices in the country. The Commissioner General disclosed that all payments will be done at any of the 22 participating banks or via the Ghana.gov platform, which is currently in use.
We started on 1st May, allowing the electronic methods as well as the easy method of paying to the Ghana.gov platform from 1st May. So taxpayers started using it. And then from 1st June, we now said we are not taking any checks at all in our offices. So that's the second step, pay the checks through the banks. And then from 1st July, we move on to the third phase that we said we are not paying any monies at all to GRA offices.
He said individuals and businesses can be able to pay taxes and duties, file tax returns, check status of taxes, as well as obtain receipts for payments electronically at the comfort of their homes or offices.
Either you can also use Momo to pay, you can use your credit card to pay, you can use your debit card to pay, you can do transfer from your account to another account, you can do SWIFT from one bank to another to pay. And all these methods are available.
According to the GRA boss, this initiative is part of the grand plan of the Revenue Authority to increase compliance, promote efficiency, while making processes convenient to clients.
My point have always been, if you have compliance that can be achieved through technology and through other efficient methods, why do you want to achieve the compliance through running after people?
Reverend Amishadai Owusu-Amoah indicated, however, that the elimination of cash collection at its offices will not lead to redundancy, and as such, staff are being retrained and redeployed within the Ghana Revenue Authority.
Various stakeholders in the fisheries sector of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, have ended a 2-day workshop to discuss the comprehensive strategic framework for sustainable development of fisheries and aquaculture and unlock the potential of fisheries and aquaculture for nutrition, welfare, and sustainable growth. The workshop was organized by the ECOWAS Agriculture and Rural Development Directorate under the project to improve regional governance of fishery in West Africa. The Director of Agriculture and Rural Development at the ECOWAS Commission, Alain Traoré, and the Food and Agriculture Organization's African Regional Senior Fisheries and Aquaculture Officer, Indiaga Gwai, highlighted the importance of the workshop to journalists. The Chief Director at Ghana's Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Kwesi Amo-Himpson, who represented the sector minister, Mavis Hawakumsen, said the importance of the fisheries sector to the socio-economic development of ECOWAS member states cannot be overemphasized.
I've been informed that a total of over 2 million metric tons of fish is produced annually by ECOWAS member states, and it's valued at over $3 billion US. Again, it is estimated that over 9 million people are involved directly or indirectly in the fisheries sector in the ECOWAS sub-region.
Remember, the Goyle TV market is all about showcasing the products and services of one of our lead sponsors, Goyle Company Limited. And this week's edition comes to you live from the Kumasi Santasi service station in the Ashanti region.
North, south, east, and west, wherever we put you first. Goyle, Goyle, Goyle is good energy. Goyle is good energy. Services so friendly to the nation.
Na okase ope fuel biato say ye super say ye diesel say lubricant ni nyina no Goyle eni dikai o mampanyika o mampanya bedi akire ministers speaker of parliament eni agobiaka bia soja fo ka kase please go a edi eni adi nyina police fo ka kase ni nyina Goyle eni digumu senya ankomonto Seja papa, ya va mu on payika e ma na engine ko twini mu. Wa wusu petrol and after diesel. Oba Goyle station also pe diesel gama. Na lubricant bia no. E no ma me do mu. E fe be viscosity and a performance. E ti wa brochira, all you do how you sure. So what dan e so chill na ko. Olusu no enkore ni. It's the guy na so ya dey she say enkora no a. Etimi say temperature ko up to 50 degrees Celsius prana, over to use our oil. Intimate oil is the abundant. We use super motor oil. The women say super motor oil, and the motor oil, and the old diesel gamma. We know anything say, two baby, now we see diesel car, and now we see petrol car. Now oil be anywhere. Saba power, wait to the wako. Motor oil, it take care of petrol cars and the diesel car. Around 95. Your car will Run ya di dinamo anya petrol na hoden anya esitie. Eti ya di number ena ebe ejina hono. Number na ekosoro no na hoden so ye den ekosoro. Eti ya petrol no na hoden no e wosoro pa. And also in the highest. In addition to that, and I said, ya di and also so aguma extra benefits and I said a young faso bi ma ebe our home out. If we say Mufu buy Eskino, and I'm told you started the year. Now me can't enter to but if we say me toss up for Saudi in it is true on one matter, but you know, Minimujina higher. Goyle, and I'm talk, you can make me say, Nya Goyle. It means Nana Masama Cora, Uncle here, baby, a Goyle, a walk, Uncle Tofu, and we talk before I will go to the station. I have seen a Tofu or had it. But listen, you should go. But product is very, very nice. I say, you should be. Because you used to gas, you used to be by a bar going on the outside. It's something terrible. Yes, it will be a cover. I'm more I you know, it's very nice to be able to be 9-1. To go there, Papa.
North, south, east, and west, we always stand for the best. Goyle, Goyle, Goyle is good energy.
So you're welcome back. That was the Goyle TV market. We came to you live from the Ashanti region. That's the Santasi Runabout service station for Goyle. That's in the Ashanti regional capital. You're welcome back. Now, today, our discussion is in twofold. The first one, we're spending some 10 minutes with the corporate IT manager for GPHA, Mr. Francis Donko, because GPHA has rolled out some e-payment systems that he wants to elaborate on. We want to educate the masses on this particular platform so that it will make it easier and convenient for you who does business in the port to be able to make your payment rather than, you know, the to and fro that you have to grapple with in your quest to, make your payments. The second discussion will be centered on illegal fishing, unreported fishing, unregulated fishing, and the threat by the EU to ban Ghana if certain measures are not instituted. What is it that we are doing wrong? And indeed, what's the impact of such a thing, such a ban on fish exports in Ghana? Already the signs are not good because we understand 2019, 2020, we saw a little bit of a decline in fish exports. But we'll go first for our topic with Mr. Francis Donko, who is right here in the studios. When we return, I'll introduce my guest for the discussion on the fisheries sector, and I'm sure you're going to be enjoying today's program. Remember, you can also send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages ahead of the show via our WhatsApp line, which is 0559-019-177. 0559-019-177. We'll share your messages with the rest of the world. Good evening, Mr. Donko. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. Indeed, we are a bit sad today as GPHA and together with the family of the late Madam Josephine Tando Asante, who was gruesomely murdered in 2019. Today marks exactly 30 years since her demise. And the family is not taking it lightly. They believe that something must be done because 30 months down the line, if justice is not served, it means that perhaps something's wrong somewhere. We woke up to reports last week about the fact that one of the lead suspects had passed on in a motor accident in the Volta region. We have not been able to confirm this, but this was carried in the Chronicle newspaper last week. And so the family wants justice to be served, and management of GPHA wish to reiterate the fact that the bounty they placed on the head of the perpetrators of this heinous act is still valid. And so whoever can volunteer information to the Port Authority, to the police in particular, the police, please get there and do so, and let's see justice served the Asante family. And I would also want to say that the story that made the headlines with respect to the death of this particular suspect shouldn't be an indication that the case is gone off completely. No. I know the police are still doing all that they can to apprehend a culprit, but 30 months down the line, nobody will be happy that justice has not been able to be served. Let us all help the police fish out these miscreants, these criminals, and then ensure that justice is served. She was murdered on the 19th of January 2019 in a home, gruesomely, in the most gruesome manner that you can ever imagine. And so please, if you're out there and you have any information that can help assist the police to unravel this mystery, unravel this murder, please do so that we can serve justice to the family of Madam Josephine Tando Asante. Sad note indeed, 30 months. Mr. Francis Donko.
It's sad.
Yes.
It's sad. And we hope and pray that the police service will be able to unravel the mystery behind all these things. We have that confidence in the police service, and we believe that at the end of the day, we'll have the culprit, brought to book.
Right. Thank you very much indeed. So let's zoom into the e-payment solutions that your outfit has rolled out for the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority to make it convenient for customers to be able to effect payment electronically. Can we, expatiate on that? I know there's one for Momo. I know there's one for Visa card.
Sorry.
If we can deal with it.
So I think the chair is.
Yes. So. Remember, this is Iron Port here on Metropolitan Television, and the program is just right about underway. And remember, I said we have it in twofold today. We are spending the first 10 minutes with our corporate IT manager at Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, Mr. Francis Donko, and he is just putting together some figures to some information. Yes, you are ready now?
Yeah.
Let's roll, please. So tell us about the e-payment solutions system that you have rolled out.
Okay, so thank you so much again. When we talk about e-payment, I think I need to probably just make define it so that at least our audience would really understand what e-payment is all about. So basically, e-payment is making transactions or paying bills online or through an electronic medium without using cash or paper checks. And this concept, indeed, is not new in Ghana here.
Right.
We're all witnessing the fact that mobile money has been driving, financial inclusions in Ghana here.
Yeah.
And going through the Bank of Ghana's report, the payment systems report, year on year, you could state that payments in Ghana is trending away from cash and paper checks. So what this actually tells us is that our customers or consumers are also moving away from cash-based payment to an electronic-based payment. And every organization that renders service to customers should also rethink, its payment method. That's the only way that we can stay in business.
Right.
And GPH is not an exception. So in partnership with one of our banks, that's EcoBank, we introduced this e-payment system to enable our customers to pay for GPH services online, without coming to our premises, to join a long queue and pay and make payment. So so that's what we've actually introduced now.
So I know there's one specifically for mobile money, and there's the other for Visa card. Can we take a look at those ones?
Yeah. So basically, if you go to our website, our corporate website, that's www.ghanaports.gov.gh, you'll see an invoice payments tab. And when you go in there, it asks you, to key in your invoice number, and then it takes you to a stage where you select your preferred payment option.
Right.
That can be mobile money, whether you're using the MTN mobile money or maybe Airtel Cash, or Vodafone Cash.
So it's for all the networks?
For all networks as well. And then for the card-based payment, we are accepting Visa card and MasterCard over there. So these are the two cards that we are actually accepting over there.
Are there any benefits that would accrue to customers apart from the issue of proximity, convenience, and all that? What are some of the benefits that they stand to derive from patronizing this particular service?
When you talk about e-payments system, what comes to mind is convenience. So you can be in the comfort of your house, your office, to make payments, without necessarily coming to our premises. So paying bills has become more convenient for our customers. And also,
okay, I think it's been shown there on the screen. So if you are watching, you can find it on the screen as you explain. Viewers can follow. Yes, so absolutely, that's it.
And one thing that also, you should know is that now with this payment, you are not restricted, by the official closing hours of Ghana Ports and Harbors Authority. You can make payments in the morning, in the midnight, at any time. And that's really the beauty of this payment. And as I said, you have options. You can choose from paying using Memo or maybe card, all those things. Aside that, you also have this kind of security that also comes with it.
Right.
You can just imagine the issues around carrying money to go and pay, at a point, So it eliminates the risk of handling physical cash. And also this area where we have the COVID-19, people moving around, interacting with people, so also something that's minimized. So you can do it without, getting interactive with people to contract any virus that is actually in the system. And also, it's for time saving. You don't need to move your car, travel all the way to our premises to come and pay. You can just stay wherever you are and then just make payments. And I think these are some of the benefits.
Okay, so tell us, is it for all GPHA charges?
Okay, so what we've done is that this payment is for what we call the high volume but low value transactions. So our customers like that. That's the our clearing agents. They normally handle this kind of terminal handling charges.
Right.
So payments around container storage, moving the container from ship site to terminal or to ICDs, and all those kind of services. So it's for terminal handling charges, and it's not meant for the port dues and stevedore dues, those things. Those ones we have some special arrangements with some of the our customers also electronically just to pay. But this is for terminal handling charges.
Oh, all right. So do we have charges attached to this? Because I recall that somebody, the president of ACHAG, Association of Customs House Agents Ghana, Mr. Yauche, was here last week, and he kind of argued a bit with me whether, we had rolled out e-payments, and I said yes. And so I think on Friday or Thursday he called and said yes, he had actually tried it and it worked. But he said there was a little bit of a charge. Do we have charges, attached to this? Does it come with some charges?
Yes, yes, we do. I mean, the normal charges that when you make Momo payment, 1% it applies. I mean, to the payment as well.
Okay.
So, so that charge is there. For the card payment, obviously, I mean, when you make payment using your card, I mean, obviously, it's an amount that you also pay to either Visa or Master card companies. So yes, those charges are there. But I think that has also come to our attention. So what we'll do is that probably we'll just have a meeting with our finance team to see how we can maybe handle that aspect.
Let's talk about security of this e-payment system. How secure is it?
I would say it's quite secure because we have implemented what we call the secure socket layer, that's SSL, on our website. And what it does is that it protects our customer information. When you go there and then you key in your Momo number and maybe your card information is encrypted. And so nobody's able to, see that. And also, we're also using what we call two-factor authentication. So when you go to the platform and make payment, the payment will not be complete unless you get an alert from your phone and then you authorize that that payment. So if somebody may get hold of your card, the person cannot complete any payment on our platform unless you authorize it. Okay. And for us, this we think is something that we're going to secure the system as well. So we have the two-factor authentication, and also our website is also secured by what you call SSL, which is quite secured.
Right. Now, you have also developed the Gpha mobile app. Can you tell us about it? And what do you seek to achieve with that?
Yes, we actually went live, I think somewhere last week. In fact, we were already live on Google's Play Store, but the App Store just came on stream just last week. Yes, I mean...
So it means people can go onto the Google App Store and then download the Gpha mobile app?
Yes, so now people can go to App Store and download the Gpha mobile app. And what it has is that it has about 4 components in it, which we think is quite key. First one is the invoice validation component. And what it means is that now the customers can authenticate or can check the validity of the invoice that Gpha generates for its customers. Now, we have some instances whereby some few unscrupulous agents or credit agents will go and falsify our invoices and then just maybe add some of the money to the bills that we raise, and then they give it to the client that asks them to clear things on their behalf. Do you understand?
They inflate the
They inflate it, Sure. With this mobile app, with the invoice number, you can check and know exactly what Gpha charged for that service. And it also has what we call the vessel tracker for all the agents to be able to track their vessel movement as well. And then we also have invoice calculator. And what this means is that now customers can obtain estimates of the services that they want to obtain from Gpha using the app. So if you want to probably say how much would I pay if probably I move a container from maybe shipside, to GJT or to inline container depot, how much will be charged? When you put in those parameters, it gives a calculation. You know how much you are likely to pay. So we have that kind of invoice calculator also in there. Aside, I mean, the areas where you can maybe have your Gpha news also in there, IronPort videos, they're all in there. So indeed, I mean, it's actually up, and we encourage our customers to download it and make use of it. So
you mean as I sit here, if I pick my phone and go to Google App Store, Play Store, I'm going to download the Gpha mobile app, and then I'm in business?
It's available. It's available.
Fantastic. Yes. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Francis Donko. He's the Corporate IT Manager for the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, bringing us up to speed with the e-payment system that has been rolled out by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. Remember, he also just told you about the Gpha mobile app, which you can download, and you can begin to do business, effect your payments online and all that. Thank you very much indeed for joining us tonight on Iron Port. We are grateful to you for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Viewers, we'll be back shortly.
Every now and again, Goil makes good things happen. This time, Goil has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. Gold Super XP Run 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. Gold Super XP Run 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. Gold Super XP Run 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with Gold Super XP Run 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. Goil has that sorted. Goil, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Oh, how are you?
Hi Yvonne, a few words please. Everyone is talking about the fire at your production house last week. How are you holding up? Has production stalled?
No, not at all. My crew and everyone on my set is perfectly fine because I insure with Serene Insurance. As a matter of fact, I've had all my equipment replaced, including the vehicles that were affected. My workers have been sorted out. Even my production downtime has been covered. So it's all good. I have a meeting to attend to, so I have to get going. Sorry about that.
Which insurance company did you mention?
Serene Insurance, the new face of insurance, a member of First Sky Group.
To our next session, which has to do with illegal fishing. It has to do with unregulated fishing. It has to do with unreported fishing. And it also has to do with threats by the EU to ban Ghana if we don't take certain steps to correct these anomalies in our fishing industry. Indeed, we all recall that somewhere in 2013, there was a similar ban from the EU, and we were subsequently cleared, and then we were brought on stream again. Now, what is it that we're not doing right? Because the EU cites dwindling fish fortunes, it talks about sustainability issues, it talks about food security and all that. And it also says those that do business legitimately in our seas, in our waters, lose profit when they are those that should be gaining. What is it that we are doing wrong? Tonight, we have assembled a team, one from the Fisheries Commission, they are regulators of the fishing industry, and one from the Ghana Tuna Association. Let me introduce to you Mr. Emmanuel Kwame Dovlo. He's a Deputy Director of Fisheries at the Fisheries Commission. Good evening, and thank you for joining us, sir. Good evening, thank you. And I also have Mr. Rista Matthew, my fisherman friend, yes. He's from the Tuna Association, Ghana Tuna Association, and he's also joined us tonight for the discussion. And so I would welcome you, gentlemen, and let me just briefly go to some statistics that I have here. My producer just finished me with this. We're talking about statistics of fish import, exports through our ports. Now, there was a decrease in both vessel calls and fish cargo throughput at the end of the first quarter of 2020 compared to the same period in 2019. Total vessels that called during the first quarter of 2020 was 130 as compared to the same period in 2019 of 144. And this represents a decrease of 14 calls, representing minus 9.72%, and an average of 43 calls per month. Now, fish cargo throughput decreased by 10,715.15 metric tons, giving a total of 31,990.85 metric tons at the end of the first quarter of 2020, as compared to 42,706.00 metric tons in the same period of 2019. Now, let's talk 2021. first quarter, there has been a decrease in both vessel calls and fish cargo throughput at the end of the first quarter of 2021 as compared to the same period in 2020. Total vessel calls during the first quarter of 2021 is 119 as compared to the same period of 2020 of 130, a decrease of 11 calls representing minus 8.46% and an average of 40 calls per month. Now, fish cargo throughput decreased by 6,366.17 metric tons, giving a total of 25,624.68 metric tons at the end of the first quarter of 2021 as compared to 31,990.85 metric tons in the same period of 2020. So the question is, if the EU should carry through with its threat to ban Ghana, it means we are going to be in a dire situation. The figures are not good already. So what is it that we are doing wrong? Let me start with you, Mr. Dovlo. When you read about this threat from the EU, what was your initial reaction?
Thank you. Yeah. Well, my initial reaction really was that it actually came as a surprise because we have been trying to see how best we can tackle this issue. Yeah, there are a lot of things that we were trying to do. Yeah, basically at the moment, what we've done is that we have been able to reactivate the VMS. Yeah, which is the vessel monitoring system.
Okay.
Yeah, that is what we use to
Does
track.
that have anything to do with the VTMIs that was inaugurated by the Ghana Maritime Authority?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's a system that we use to track the vessels. All industrial vessels are by law required to have the VMS. Yeah, so that is what we use to track them. Yeah, that one has been activated. And then another aspect is that we have observers on each of the industrial vessels, both tuna and the industrial trawl, which bring their reports.
Right.
Yeah. And then we are also trying to strengthen our enforcement unit. Yeah. We've been trying to giving them training so that they will be up to the task and be able to give us the best. Another thing that we've been able to do is to have an interagency meeting where the ministry has met with Ministry of National Security to strategize to combat IUU fishing. Yeah. Within the past 4 weeks, couple of weeks back, officials have embarked on tours to sensitize fishers on the repercussions of IUU.
Right.
Yeah, so this has really gone on. And at the moment, what we really plan to do, we are going to activate Ghana EU IUU working group session. Yeah, and then we draw the timelines and discuss and work on the issues that were raised. So a lot of things has happened where we are trying to see how best we can address the issue.
How quickly are you going to, or how soon are you going to activate this Ghana EU IUU session?
Yeah, efforts are already in place. We were already in dialogue. Yeah. And then the yellow card came. Yeah, so the negotiation has now moved into, let's say, a formal negotiation where we are trying to critically address all the issues with the support from EU. EU has always been giving us very good support. I mean, through what is called Regional Fisheries Management Organization. Yeah.
So let's tell us about the yellow card. If they say a country has been given a yellow card by the EU, what does it represent?
When a country is issued with a yellow card, yeah, what really this means is that the country have to enter into formal dialogue so that the issues that have been raised can be addressed by the country with support from EU. It's more of a cooperation and support dialogue.
Right.
So they will come to the ground, come and assess our human capacity, our infrastructure equipment, and they see how best they can help us to deal with the issue. Yeah, so basically this is what is involved.
All right, there's another thing I want you to clarify before I move to Richter, and that has to do with what the difference is between a tuna vessel and an industrial trawler.
Yeah, when you talk about a tuna vessel, tuna vessels operate in the high seas, exploiting basically the large pelagics. We have the tunas, and we have the trawlers. The trawlers usually operate within the waters from 30-meter depth and beyond, and they exploit valuable demersal resources such as the sea breams, cuttlefish, and then a host of others. So basically, these are the difference between the two.
Right. Thank you very much. Let me come to you, Richter. 3-4 weeks ago, there was this incident with the Atlantic Princess where pirates attacked this tuna vessel. You were one of the key figures that came to the port, into the yard to see, the members and to see that everybody was fine and all that. And subsequently, you had emails from some of the embassies concerned, trying to get your assistance as far as this issue was concerned. That was one of your vessels, because you represent the Ghana Tuna Association. What's the situation so far with the issue of the Princess, Atlantic Princess, and these people that were abducted?
That's actually my vessel. And I declined to speak to the issue because we are still discussing. I'm sorry, but I can't speak to... It's so sensitive for me to discuss on television at this moment. We know we have security issues. So permit me, but let me decline to answer the questions.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll give you that. Now, let's talk about illegal fishing. Let's talk about unregulated fishing. Let's talk about the threat by the EU to ban Ghana. I'm sure you have heard it. What's your initial reaction?
Well, I've heard about it, but we need to clearly understand where we are, what it means to say a country is doing an IUU, and what really the issues are. Is it just, because you were talking about sustainability, you were talking about declining stocks, and when you were doing your introduction, you were also talking about vessel call at the port.
Absolutely.
And then the...
Yes, that's where our interest lies.
Yeah, first of all, it tells the story we're talking about when we raise the issue of the increment in fishing license fees and the high cost of doing business. Most of the fish that are exported are tuna. We have 37 registered tuna vessels. 20 of them are pole and line. They use hook and line.
You have 37?
Registered tuna vessels.
Okay.
20 of them are pole and line. They use hook and line. 17 of them are personers. Of the 20 pole and line, only 6 are working today because they cannot meet the high cost of fishing, particularly the license fees. And so that is what is reflecting in the exports. The personers are struggling to survive. So we have a major challenge when it comes to costs in fishing. The fuel cost is going very high. Labor wages are going high because once you increase the minimum wage, we need to increase wages of our crew. You even have challenge of bringing in the match for tuna. The only captains we get are all from Korea. So 100% of our captains are Koreans. And then you have these incidents of pirates. So now they come at a higher cost. So all these has increased the cost of doing business. And once that has happened, you have some of the vessels not working, you have a problem. Then the foreign vessels that come, because of the increment in the license fee, they are also not coming as much as they should. And that's why you are recording those negatives in port calls and fish export through the port. So that explains it. Now, when you talk about IUU, you are talking about 3 things: illegal, unregulated, unreported. What is legality? When it's illegal, it means that it's not done according to law. And you need to understand the fisheries sector. We have the industrial, tuna and trawl, and then we have the artisanal canoe, and then you have the semi-industrial, the inshore vessels. Then you have inland, but our interest is in the marine. Now, you have a fisheries sector that is now survival of the fittest, particularly at the artisanal level. You have about 14,000 canoe when our current capacity is so low, so per the researchers, we need just about 9,000 canoes. So you are talking about extra 5,000. If I'm per their study, unless that is not the case, so you have extra 5,000 canoes already in the system. Now, if you have an average of even 10 people on each canoe, you are talking about 50,000 extra hands in the fishing industry. So they would have to survive. And because your stocks are declining, they would have to apply every means to be able to survive. So if you don't address the challenge of overcapacity, you always go around, particularly within the artisanal sector, trying to fix a problem that you need to fix by reducing the capacity. But how do you do it? That's how I was discussing somebody. Do we now have to get some probably pension scheme and identify people at the top, some age bracket, and retire them probably on leap? Don't go fishing again. And every month give them some stipend. Then we identify young people who are supposed to be in school, but they are in the fishing industry. And then find ways and means of putting them in the classroom or giving them some skill training. So then you reduce the human dependency on the fishing sector. Once you do that, you then reduce the number of canoes that are fishing. The other thing is that the canoes are specialized. For instance, we need anchovies because they are in our waters. But do we have to allow the small mesh size net all year round? Anchovies are in abundance between September and December. Could we regulate the sector such that between December and September, those who are doing anchovy will just do the anchovy, and then by January they are out, their nets are out of the system, so that they don't go harvesting small fish, which may be spawning or which may just be hiding somewhere, and then you will be able to keep the system going. So you need proper planning for the artisanal sector. There are those who are using hook and line. So fishing is actually seasonal. When we're young, fishing is seasonal, and you have some species coming at each time within the year or each period.
Particular seasons. Yeah.
So you need to now identify and have some gear regulatory regime that takes care of those species that are available. Now, when you come to the semi-industrial, could you give them specialization? Let them concentrate on cuttlefish. Cuttlefish has a lifespan of a maximum of 2 years. So you identify their migratory pattern, give them special gear that targets cuttlefish. If they do cuttlefish for 6 months, they can retire. Because if you process it properly and you export, they don't need to come back and use light because they will have enough money to keep them going. Now, if you do anchovies, do you dry them on the ground like we see in Tema? When you could just put in place some vacuum packing machine and solar dryers, so that when they come, they dry them through the solar system, and then you do vacuum packing, you package them, and it has a longer shelf life. So the fisherman earns enough money to be able to sustain himself rather than come back and get 5 cedis and so want to do things wrong. The fish live in an environment. We can't say that everything is about the fisherman. How many of our lagoons and streams are still in good health? We've destroyed all of them. Some of the fish spawn around the estuaries, some spawn in the brackish water. So if you destroy the lagoon and you pollute them, even assemblies construct drains and they channel them into the water body. So I pour dirty water from my house, or a mechanic pours some oil in the drain, and it goes into the lagoon, and then you are destroying the fish. So probably the fisherman might not even have done any harm through IEU. But because somebody had refused to plan properly, and we don't have waste treatment system, we have all our waste channeled into one water body that ends up in the sea. And so we keep destroying the fish within their habitat.
Right.
Now, we are talking about illegality.
Yes.
I think that illegality means that you probably do not have the permission to fish.
Yes.
We have apart from the industrial sector, we basically have an open access. So today, if I decide that I want to have 4 canoes, I can just put them on water and start fishing. You can't manage capacity that way. You need to have a regime that is able to manage how people enter into the industry. Do we use the district assemblies and probably get the assemblies?
Mr. Devlo, I hope you are noting them down.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
So that we can manage capacity properly and align capacity to the resources. Because if we don't do that, you would always have people fighting to survive within the fisheries sector. What is the reporting regime? Yes, the tuna sector, you need to report because there's traceability and all that, the trawlers. But what is the reporting regime below? It's almost absent. we need to have some reporting regime if you want to reduce IUU. And then you need to have some ways of regulating. So you don't just regulate the fishing activity. You see, fishing starts the moment you conceive the idea, you buy the net, you buy all the inputs, you started fishing. So illegality can start from there. So illegality is not just about the fisherman at sea and then doing some things we consider illegality.
But if you don't go to the regulators for the right licensing
it's an illegality.
Okay.
If you buy the wrong mesh size, it's an illegality. And then it ends with the consumer. So the consumer can also be jailed for consuming fish that was illegally caught. It's just like you buy an illegal equipment from a thief.
Me, I have my small money. I've gone to Nema market to buy my fish to go and enjoy.
You are as liable as the fisherman who landed the illegal fish.
Yes.
And as much as the person who conceived the idea of bringing in. So it is a major thing, and it's cross-sectorial. You see, when we are talking about EU identification with a yellow card, it's a trade issue. It's not about fish stocks. It's about trade. And how much is the trade ministry involved in decisions at the fisheries ministry? There's a foreign affairs aspect. How much is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs involved? How much are the fisher folks themselves? We are talking the Ghana EU, IEU meeting. As an industry, we have never participated in any. So we hardly even get reports unless this EU thing, we had it long ago. Officially, we have not received any communication from the ministry that Ghana had been identified or pre-identified by the EU and what measures needed to be taken. Because, you see, before you go to meet with the EU, probably we also needed to be engaged, that this is where we are. It's across the board. We have Tuna Association, we have Trawlers Association, we have Canoe Fishermen Council, we have Inshore
Fisheries Association.
And then we have NAFAG, which is the umbrella body. How involved are we? There could be quarterly meeting that deals with licensing issues and all that. But when it comes to regulation, we're in Spain together when a few people left and we raised the issue for EU to Brussels for
an EU session?
IEU session. They told us we're going for IEU session. But these are the people you are going to make the decision for. It's not the ministry people who go fishing to get involved in IEU. It's the fisher folks, it's the industry. How involved are we when it comes to dealing with the IEU? In 2013, when we were pre-identified, industry was involved throughout the process.
Right.
So how then do we stop somewhere and then deal with the EU and leave the industry out? We have conditions under which we are issued with licenses. So we all meet the condition. We are issued with licenses. But in the course of doing our business, how involved are we? And I speak about specialization. You see, we need, if we want to manage our fisheries, then we need to start talking and doing more research. Mr. W has a research unit. Some of us have raised the issue. Can we have research vessel? The president made a promise. It's not happened.
Okay. So you have raised a litany of issues.
Yeah.
Let me pause here. But let me ask you this question. You raised the issue of labor. You raised the issue of high cost of fuel. You raised the issue of piracy, which is adding up to the cost of doing business as far as fisheries is concerned.
Yeah.
But one would say you guys are still making some profits, aren't you?
I tell you that a number of vessels are not fishing anymore. I don't want to mention them. Some of the companies are going to the banks and they are refused loans because they are not able to meet the conditions. Vessels and companies are barely surviving. It's the persons that are struggling to survive. As for the Poland line, it is a major, major disaster because they are not even getting bait. You see, they need bait. They need anchovies for bait. And they need the live bait. The anchovies should not be dead. Otherwise, they could collect them from, they should be live. And one of the, because it's bait, they only need a short period to be able to harvest their bait and then go to fishing ground and then use the bait for their target fish, which is tuna. Now, they need to use light within that short period. Take the bait, go to bait ground, release the bait live so they could harvest. We have a problem. There's a law that says you can't use light. And because we are a highly regulated sector, we cannot do it.
You said we are highly regulated.
Yeah, the tuna sector is a highly regulated sector.
Okay, because in one breath, I thought that you said the regulators were a bit lax.
I'm saying that when it comes to tuna, let me tell you why we are highly regulated. We are highly regulated because tuna falls within the ICAT regime, the International Commission on Conservation. That's where tuna is managed from. We are highly regulated because we trade with the EU and they do traceability. So they will trace from the source which vessel, what method was used in harvesting the fish. About 2-3 years ago, we were doing what we call collaborative fishing, where the person now will ring the fish and then share with the pole and line. EU did traceability and they said, no, you could not identify these fish as pole and line fish because it was caught illegally. And we stopped. So that's what I mean by we are highly regulated. So your product will go to the EU market and the EU would have to trace to see how you are able to get that product. And it makes it difficult for you to do anything illegal within the tuna sector.
Right.
And so the tuna sector is highly regulated, is properly managed. And so you can, and because nobody can do anything illegal, when you cannot fish, you have to lay up your vessels. So you have a lot of about 14 of the pole and line vessels are laid up because they are not working.
All right. Let me come to Mr. Dovlo for some responses. I would have want to go on a different tangent with you, fixating on some of the things we are doing to ensure that we kind of like are able to get out of this messy situation we seem to find ourselves in. But he's raised a lot of issues. One thing that caught my attention was the fact that sometimes when we're going for some of these meetings with the powers that be with the EUs and all that, you don't take them along. And he also cited the fact that you're supposed to perhaps ensure that there's strict, monitoring of the situation so that people who are not supposed to be there, he mentioned the issue of, 14,000 canoes on our seas. He mentioned what the situation should have been 9,000 and all that. I mean, let's have some responses from him and then we proceed.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, in response to engagement of the fishers in meetings, I think we have been trying. Yeah, these days we've been doing a lot. We engage them. We have a stakeholders meeting every quarter. We meet with the tuna team, GTA. We meet with Gpha, that's the Industrial Trade Association. So every quarter we meet them, and whatever issues that are within the sector, we try to address it. Yeah. If you take tuna, for instance, whenever we are going for ICAT meeting, I mean, they are all involved in it, where we go and we do all these discussions.
Right.
So when it comes to engaging the fishers, I think we are on top of that issue. And as I mentioned earlier, the sensitization that for the past 4 weeks, that has been carried out. I mean, meeting the fishers and then engaging them. Yeah. And at the moment, for instance, we conducted a troll gear audit, yeah, where we've given the report to them, and they've brought their response, and we have to engage them at the stakeholders before we can even come out with what we really have to do with the gear improvement that we want to bring on board.
Right.
So concerning this, I believe that we've been able to have a lot of, engagement with them with these instances that I have cited.
Yeah.
And then talking about the low export now, well, really one of the greatest challenges that we are facing as a country, and for that matter in the sub-region, is maritime insecurity. Yeah. So we see piracy attack, just as you said in the beginning.
Yeah.
On the increase. And this is another issue that has affected fish production, particularly with the tuna. And we are still trying to see how best, as a sub-region, we can come together to fight this maritime insecurity issue. Right. So that's another problem that has actually brought down all these issues. Yeah, another thing I want to address is about the number of canoes.
Yes.
Yeah, what we do is that annually, we do what is called stock assessment. And the information that we get out of it, we are able to use it to align the effort and the fishing capacity to what we refer to as maximum sustainable yield. When we talk about maximum sustainable yield, or MSY, we are looking at the quantity of fish that can be harvested without putting the resource under stress. Right. So we do that for all the fleets. For canoe, what he's saying is right. We have about 14,000. Right. And the number is, the current number is 9,000. Right. But I believe we've put in some measures.
That's acceptable. 9,000 is acceptable.
Yeah, 9,000 is acceptable.
Right.
Yeah. So we have put in place some measures to arrest some of these issues. One area that we've tackled is what is called canoe ID card. With a canoe ID card, we expect that this will come in and gradually face off the open access so that we can cap and actually come down to that level. Because if you take the local fishermen, they see fishing as a pastime, as a hobby. So it's a gradual process. With respect to inshore too, we've done the calculation, we know the number of vessels. And similarly, we are working on it. With the industrial trawl setter and tuna, I believe we are on top of the issue. We've done all these calculations, and currently the number that exists, I believe, is in good condition. Another area that we've just started working on is co-management. We want to engage the fishers in the management of the resource. Yeah. As soon as we do that, then we are looking at voluntary compliance. So this is where we are looking at the district assemblies together with the chief fishermen in the communities so that they can manage the resources themselves with our support. Yeah. So co-management means that, so here we are looking at what we refer as bottom-up approach. Yeah. So in this case, enforcement doesn't really become that much of an issue because they understand what is happening and they are managing their resources. And another thing that we've done, last year, we did artisanal gear survey, where we did some work trying to look at the nets that are used to exploit the fisheries. Just as we did for the trawl gear audit, where we were able to come out with some of the problems. Right. Yeah, so we are about to finish the report for the artisanal gear. So particularly our emphasis was on a gear we call APW, a lip poly watcher, or a piercing. Yeah, it's the commonly used fishing gear. Right. So that was our target. And we've done some work, we've gotten so much information on it, where we'll see how best we can work on it. Okay. And respect to the trawl gear, basically the problem that we saw was that the nets have high opening. So even a depth of 35 meters, once you are trawling, you virtually get all the surface species, the small pelagics. Right. And we are working on it. We are, what currently we are doing is that very soon we will issue an administrative directive where we will make sure that we bring prescribed nets for this trawl gear so that all these issues of juvenile catch will be over. All right. So let me announce the phone line so that viewers can call in and ask questions and contribute as well. And the number to dial is 020-552-8353, 020-552-8353. You can call in and ask my guest any question that bothers your mind. But let me still remain with you, Mr. Dovlu. Now, do you have a team that goes on sea to perhaps check these canoes, whether they are supposed to be there or not? And let me also find out from you whether your services are decentralized so that you are easily accessible rather than everybody trooping to the headquarters of the head office of the Fisheries Commission to access your service to ensure maybe their canoes are licensed and all that. Okay. Yeah. In our effort to try to curb on IUU, it's not only the industrial vessels that we engage our services. I mean, even with artisanal, we have the Marine Police and the Ghana Navy, together with our unit, more or less we call them protection officers, the Monitoring, Controlling and Surveillance Division. They form FUE. And we have intelligence. I mean, we try to gather intelligence wherever we believe that there are some IUU going on, illegality in fishing going on, we move in. So we are monitoring the canoes, as well as efforts that we are putting in place to control the trawl fisheries. Right. If you take, for instance, about the close season, we started close season with the industrial trawl way back in November 2016, where they observed 1 month close season. In the following year, in 2017, February and March, we increased it to 2 months. Come the next year, 2018, we did another 2 months for the industrial trawl, which was in January and February. And then in 2019, they did it together with the inshore and the artisanal. Yeah. So these are all some of the measures that we are trying to, put into the system to make sure that we deal properly with some of these issues that are emerging.
All right. So let me once again acknowledge the fact that the phone lines have been activated. You can call in. The number to dial is 020-552-8353. I will go for a break, and when we come back, I will find out from Mr. Matthew whether, in spite of all these issues he has raised that seem to be mitigating against their operations, they are not able to perhaps find a way out, to survive. Please take note. When I come, that's what I'll be asking you. Let's go for a break. We'll be back shortly.
This time, GOIL has introduced Super XP Ron 95, a higher grade fuel loaded with additives and yet sold at the same price as normal fuel. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 enhances engine performance like never before. It maintains the engine by keeping it clean from carbon deposits. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 is designed to burn slowly and thus improves fuel economy, making you save money after several kilometers. GOIL Super XP Ron 95 gives you a smooth driving experience, that is, less vibrations. Fill up with GOIL Super XP Ron 95. Now there's no need to pay more for any higher grade fuel. GOIL has that sorted. GOIL, good energy.
Electricity, then pay your taxes. Our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is. You still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Oh, how are you?
Hi Yvonne, a few words please. Everyone is talking about the fire at your production house last week. How are you holding up? Has production stalled?
No, not at all. My crew and everyone on my set is perfectly fine because I insure with Serene Insurance. As a matter of fact, I've had all my equipment replaced, including the vehicles that were affected. My workers have been sorted out. Even my production downtime has been covered. So it's all good. I have a meeting to attend to, so I have to get going. Sorry about that.
Which insurance company did you mention?
Serene Insurance, the new face of insurance, a member of First Sky Group.
Metropolitan Television, and tonight we are discussing the issue of illegal fishing amid threat from the EU to ban Ghana if certain steps are not taken to address illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. And I gave you the statistics from the beginning. 2019-2020 was not good for exports. The first quarter of 2021 also looks bad because there's been a decrease in fish exports. And so what do we do going forward to ensure that we rectify whatever anomalies there are so that we can deal with this yellow card that has been granted to Ghana by the EU and ensure that we are back to normal as far as fish exports are concerned. So, Richard, tell us, apart from, you've listed a number of issues that are affecting your operations. beyond, bringing them out and getting the appropriate authorities to address, what are you yourselves doing as an association to ensure that you, survive in this business?
For instance, if the tuna sector is surviving, it's because we are blazing the storm with lots of difficulties, honestly. And like I said, those that are unable to access bank loans, their vessels are laid up. In fact, most of our vessels are old vessels. You can't even replace them because the companies do not have money to replace them. We wish we could replace all our vessels. We are having challenges with Ghana Maritime Authority every now and then because we need to keep fixing things, keep going to a dry dock. And if you keep going to a dry dock, it means that you are increasing your maintenance costs, and it adds to cost. And so we are in a very tight situation for the industrial sector. When it comes to the artisanal sector, I still can't think how we'll be able to deal with this challenge. Let me give you a scenario. Ghana, in terms of, in real terms, contribution to GDP is about $1 billion. In real terms, we think it's big money.
Right.
But how many people are in the fishing industry? About 2.7 million people. Okay. US is a big country, yes. But in real terms, their contribution to GDP from the fishing sector is $350 billion. How many?
All right.
How many
Sorry,
people
I'm not cutting you. Hold your fire. Let me go to Wale Wale up north. That's the northeast region, and pick Issa, who is on the line. Hello, Issa. Good evening, sir. Hello, Issa. Can you hear me? Okay, I understand the line has dropped. So let's move on.
How many people are in the fishing industry in the US? 1.7 million people. For 2.7 or so million, our contribution in real terms is $1 billion. For 1.7 million people, their contribution is $350 billion. Now, what is the problem? Before, when I was young, my grandfather still had a farmland. He no longer has a farmland. So if he was not fishing between May and July in order to be able to cultivate his farm, because all the farmlands have now built up communities, everybody is fishing all year round to survive. So it has become a survival issue. And you need a real policy that addresses the challenge of people who have no other thing to do, because it's not like you can fish for 3 months and earn and save enough to cover a year.
Yes. Okay, so Issa is back on the line. Let's pick him, and then I'll come back to you. Hold your fire. Hello, Issa. Good evening, sir. Hello, Issa.
Hi, I can hear you.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Fine evening, and good evening to you and place.
Good evening, and thanks for calling in. Can you please proceed with your question?
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity. My question is actually with regards to the promotion of local consumption of fish. Because you realize that some of these things, we do not pay so much attention to the internal consumption, and we give, should I say, priority to the export. That is equally important. But I think that in promoting the sector of the industries such as tourism, such as fishery industry and the rest, I think it's important that we have that thing for local consumption as well. So if you come to places like Northeast fishing, where we do these big rivers for fishing and the rest, people do not know about this tuna fish. People hardly consume tuna here. The reason is the fact that some of them do not understand or do not know that we have all this variety in the country. So how do the industry players take steps to promote local consumption of these resources that we have here? Because the point is, when we have a lot of people who are interested in our industries, we are going to grow more than just looking at the outside. So look at COVID, for instance. It has come, and a lot of sectors have been impacted. So sectors like tourism, industry, hospitality, and the rest. So how do we use that as an opportunity or as a leverage to promote local participation and local consumption, such that we keep the industries running?
Right.
So my question is, how are they promoting local consumption, safe local consumption, I should add?
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Issa, all the way from Walwali in the Northeast region. I think that Issa believes that there is need for some education and sensitization by way of promoting local consumption of fish and to, you know, bring in elements that would get people to appreciate the kind of species we have and, you know, how it will balance our, you know, nutritional requirements and all that.
No, Kennedy, before
Yes.
I respond to that, so I'm trying to say that because you don't have people who are barely surviving, they are forced to do things illegally. So you need, you don't need a fisheries commission or the fisheries ministry. This is a national crisis. The fisheries sector has gotten to a point where we need to see it as a national security threat. Because you see, these are young, able-bodied people who go fishing and get 5 cedis, 10 cedis, and then they come to eat Gary. If they cannot survive, the next thing that comes to mind is criminality. Because they must survive. So we need to start addressing the sector challenges as a national security crisis. We are sitting on a time bomb. We need to deal with it and deal with it decisively, especially on matters of the young people. Now, on the issue of promoting local
consumption.
You and me live in Tema. You see the number of coastals that have been built. They are not meant for local fish. They are meant for imported fish.
Yes.
Why are we importing so much? Look at the inland contribution to fisheries. It's gone completely. The inland contribution from freshwater is gone because we have destroyed all our freshwater with galamsey and other activities. We have destroyed our wetlands. We have destroyed our watershed because we have basically allowed illegal activities. We've destroyed almost all our nature. So the inland contribution, otherwise somebody in the north may not need to wait for fish to come from the ocean or the marine sector to consume fish, because there will be some water in the backyard where they can do some fishing. Even if the fish is not there naturally, they could do some backyard pond culture or cage culture to be able to get fish for that community. So you don't have to depend so much on importation of fish. But we've destroyed it. We've destroyed all the way. We destroyed the inland. We destroyed the brackish water. We have destroyed our mangroves. So we even have challenges with our shrimps. So we don't even have a shrimper in Ghana anymore. Now, when it comes to tuna, yes, we have tuna in abundance. We produce a lot of tuna. The issue has to do with the value. Because producing tuna, like Mr. Dovlo said, you go into deeper waters. It's a lot of cost to produce tuna. And we have, you see, the EU, because of their salad and stuff, would always want to have canned tuna. And so normally it becomes a raw material for the country to process and export. But we produce enough also for the local market, except that we have not developed the downstream value chain properly. And so I spoke about drying anchovies on the ground. The vessel comes, and then the women keep them in cold store. They have to sell them. If we have a proper processing system where they could smoke the fish and then vacuum pack, what it means that you will increase the shelf life of the tuna. So it could be on the shelf for probably a month, 2, and so people could easily pick them, just like they could deal with canned fish, which may be there for a long time. So we need now to improve on our research on how to increase the shelf life of our fish. If we do not do that, I have no fish, because once the market is glut, it becomes very difficult.
Let me Mr. Matthew, let me pick another caller and then we come back and then wrap up because we don't have much more time. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Your name and where you're calling from, sir?
My name is John.
Your name is?
John. I'm calling.
Did he say Sir John?
Yeah, he said Sir John.
Sir John, okay, yes. You're calling from?
Takrady.
Takrady. Right, thank you very much indeed. Please go ahead.
Yes, I want to find out the revenue, talking of the is my, because I used to go to different communities and I see a lot on the beach, left, right, center. And these fishermen, only they control the kind of investment And I want to know whether they are contributing enough taxes to them, which we are always crying for. I want to know because part of them of the Tema it is taxes to the government.
Sir John, your line is not that clear. What exactly do you want to know, please?
I want to know the tax component of this fishermen, the fish.
Tax component.
Whether they are paid to help in the contract of this is my real concern.
Okay, right. Thank you very much indeed, Sir John from Takrady. We are grateful to you. I don't know whether you picked what he.
Yeah, he wanted
said,
to know if the fishing companies pay or the fishermen pay tax.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you?
Yeah, we do. No, we look. We pay.
Right. Yes.
We pay huge taxes.
Huge
taxes. For instance, the license fees for two of my vessels is about 861,000 Ghana cedis every year.
Wow. Two of your vessels?
Two vessels.
Okay.
There are companies that are paying over 1.5 million Ghana cedis every year. That is license fee. And then they pay corporate taxes. They pay taxes for, because your tax clearance certificate is a requirement for the renewal of your license every year. And the tax people will come after you as if you are a criminal. So we pay our taxes. So when it comes to the issue of taxes, we are there.
Right. Okay. Let me come to Mr. Dovlo. Just briefly, tell us, apart from the Ghana EU IUU session that you mentioned and your quest to get to the table with the EU to discuss these issues and flag down the yellow card, what are some of the things you are doing in the immediate to ensure that we improve on our exports as far as fish is concerned?
Yeah.
Just briefly.
Okay. Yeah. Briefly. Yeah, but first let me quickly end what I was saying. Yeah.
Yes.
Fisheries is represent at the regions and at the districts.
Right.
So fisheries on the ground where everybody
so
can
centralized.
access. Yeah, centralized.
Okay.
Yeah. And then let me also quickly touch on another issue. Yeah. Really, fishing is a seasonal activity, and we realize that in the coastal communities during the upwelling season, July, August, September, there's bumper harvest.
Yeah.
And fishermen are able to exploit this, and they know the lean season. Yeah, and even when we talk about the time that we implement the closing for 1 month, we never heard of the fishing community really in a desperate state that requires national security considerations, as Rista really put the issue about. So, fisheries committee, we are really on the ground, and we are trying to make the issues work.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Rista, just 1 minute. We have barely a minute and a half to go.
Let me try and do two things in 1 minute.
Yes, please.
One, when I said that we are sitting on a time bomb, I live with a fisherman in the Korea. I know how desperate life has become. And what I'm saying is that if we do not take measures to ensure that they have very normal life, they become a threat because we are faced with piracy. And these are people who have sea endurance for over a month. So if they have very good vessels, they could be at sea and they could be a disaster. The other issue is that we need a marine spatial plan. A lot of activities are happening on the sea. You have oil activities. Now, everywhere they find oil, they will sink their rig, whether the place is sensitive or not. We need a marine spatial plan. We need to have permanent closures in some sensitive areas. And we need a fisheries research department unit that works. The unit is not working. You see, we can't pretend it's not working. We need a research unit that works. We need a gear unit that can do proper gear auditing, can do gear trials. You'll be able to assess the responses of fish to gear. We need the gear unit that is able to identify that we probably need square mesh here or there. And we need to have a prone tank probably to do our trials when we have our gear. We can't do things that we are and get better
results. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much. I'm sure most of the issues, or all the issues he has raised, you would accept in good faith, take note, and then work on them, right?
Yes.
They want a vibrant research unit at the Fisheries Commission.
Can I react to that? Oh, it's okay.
Just 30 seconds.
Yes, 30 seconds, yeah. Well, I really don't agree. I heard the Fisheries Research Division,
right.
And there are so many things that we are doing. When you talk about the troll gear audit, we want to see, as well as on land, trying to measure all these things to find out the cost. We also talk about artisanal gear, that we work on it. We are doing catch assessment survey. On Monday and Tuesday, I was in Cape Coast and Takoradi, training our eliminators who collect data.
So that's well noted. We are wraping up. So I would like to say a very big thank you to you, Mr. Emmanuel Kwame Dovlo, Deputy Director, Fisheries Commission, and Mr. Rista Amafiu, is the Secretary of the Ghana Tuna Association. My name is Kennedy Mona. Make it again next week for another edition of Iron Pod. Remember, the abridged version of the show will be aired on Ghana Television DTV on Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Many thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening. The messages have come, but we couldn't take them.